Well, well, well. It's you. Hey, how are you doing? Thanks for joining me for this episode of Sheba Sunday. It is like March, what, 24th? 2024. Love. Day before a full moon. It's a Sunday. We're a little bit later in the evening than we typically go on. But everything's made up and we keep changing, like the seasons, like nature, like the cosmos. So sweet. Thanks for joining me. Do you like this like more green blue motif? You see this blue wall behind me? How do we like it? As I look at it like on the screen, I like it much more than I liked it in real life. When I look at it, I'm like, ah, but that's okay. Um, it's it's bluer than I thought it would be, even though the color I wanted is called ultramarine, just like ultra blue. But it looks like that blue painter's tape a little bit to me, but perhaps it will grow on me. I have like a cool Sheba like neon sign that I got, and we put it up and tested it. You can't tell what it says, honestly. It like you can either, I think, see me clearly, or you can see the sign, my name in lights. So I guess I just shine too brightly. So the neon was like, we can't compete. We're just an element. So I get it. I get it. Ugh, what an interesting couple of weeks it's been. Um, wow, y'all, things are getting interesting. I'll have to look back at my a couple of my most recent episodes and see what I was predicting, cause methinks the queen was right. But yeah, um, it is March. Tomorrow is a full moon. The name of this episode is Creators of the Worm Moon. If you know, that's a play on this movie that is recently come out called Killers of the Flower Moon. Um, and yeah, I often kind of think of this existence as like a movie, perhaps like a cosmic movie, maybe like a series of different movies. Um, and and like also kind of an escape room that we can use the information that we have um, to figure out what's going on and escape from whatever this is we're in. um, and so I was thinking over the summer, y'all remember when Oppenheimer came out? Just a story about the dude who created the atomic bomb. Um, and when it came out and there was all this hype around it, they got this great director to do the movie. I was like, why are they trying to get us used to identifying with a white man who struggles over his difficult choice to have to murder a bunch of people in order to save other people? Like, I was like, why are we doing this right now, actually? Um, and then October 7th happened and it made a little bit more sense. I was like, wait a minute, oh no. And then there was this other movie that came out, Killers of the Flower Moon, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, noted sex pest and creepy man. Um, he and so it's actually based on a true story, true occurrence, which was only in like 1910 or something. The Osage people, a native tribe on Turtle Island, they their land happened to be on an oil reserve. There's a bunch of oil there, and so they each got like a piece of the wealthy land, and it was called like a head right or something. And so each of them, all of these native people became the richest people, in the country. Um, and so, what did the white men do? What did the settlers do when they saw um, natives beating them at their own game by no, like action. The universe is just like, all right, here y'all go. These white people uh, set up these kind of, they were like, these natives, they're kind of savages. They're not going to understand how to properly steward the land. So they set up, so a lot of these white men, they would marry into the tribe so that they could get access to the money, and they would kill these women, these Osage women. I know. I'm like, they would kill them and steal their land, and it took, and if not kill them, they would have them deemed legally incompetent to be able to administer their property and their finances. So this white man would get to take control of it functionally. And I think we have this idea of like back in the day, it was kind of like it was a new project of nation building, and we were all trying to figure out how to do things. And oh, Billy asked, that's wild. Is there a trailer? Oh, are we allowed to watch trailers on let's see, Killers? And like, I'm not even saying go watch the movie. But yeah, we kind of have like when I learned about like the Trail of Tears, it was kind of we didn't learn much about it past that it was like kind of thing, and the natives moved. We didn't like learn about how violent it was and how horrifying it must have been and why it was called the Trail of Tears. And like how much violence and lying it took. So like in order to steal these people's land, it took the collusion of white attorneys and bankers and politicians and cops and just like regular people to collude to create all these fancy legal documents that say these native people can't have their land, and like these white people have to steward it for them. It's like, oh my gosh. And now to see what they're doing in Palestine, they are, murdering them and trying to steal their land. They have these real estate events. Keller Williams, I'm pretty sure, have these real estate events in the US for Jewish people who live in the US to purchase land in Palestine, in Gaza, in the West Bank. They've just annexed, thousands of acres of the West Bank or something for like, and it's just these white people doing the same thing they did back then, just pretending that these like savages are just, letting this land go to waste, and, they're just being terrorists, and we're going to come in and do something with it. And it's going to be so beautiful. And it's crazy. It's crazy to see. Anyway, the flower moon is in May, and this new moon, full moon that's tomorrow, is what do you call it? It's called the worm moon. So actually, let's see if I can give y'all a little taste of this thing. How long is that? $1.50? All right, let's see. I will go Sheba small. And then we can like see a little bit of this. I wonder, I hope it's tastefully done. I know white men can get real, revisionist when it comes to portraying natives.
The Osage took their name from Missouri and Osage
I think
rivers.
You don't put Leonardo DiCaprio in a movie if you don't want Americans to identify with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Children of the Middle
Waters. Look how cute Lily Gladstone, the first Native woman to Native person
said the great
to be nominated,
White Father.
I think, for best actress.
There are many, so many hungry wolves. Can you find the wolves in this picture?
Wow, it came out in October.
find the wolves in this picture?
So anyway, that was great trailer. And I'm sure it doesn't even do like the story justice, but I think just in that little trailer, it does give a good idea of what we're seeing now. The wolves, the terrorists, the monsters, the inhumane savages, they're these white people dressed up in their suits with their fancy degrees and their decorum and their process and procedure and their laws and their like they are making it up. They are crooks and they are tricking these people out of their fucking land, out of their resources. They literally the US, instead of preventing aid from being let into Gaza and food and water, as because the Israelis have been starving and dehydrating and terrorizing the people of Palestine since 1948, but they've gotten since 1967 or whatever. It's really ramped up. It's insane. We're going to be studying the Israelis and the Zionists for generations to come. They are just their racism and superiority and violence is it's manifest destiny, but like they have like a kind of a victim righteousness, like reparations kind of a mentality about it that makes them even more dangerous. I think it's just so crazy. So anyway, let me see, how do I, okay. Yeah, so crazy that that movie came out in October, and then we all got to see on a world stage that same thing playing out. A bunch of white people doing a different tactic, but understanding that these natives are sitting on a valuable piece of property to white people. They're coveting this land and the resources. There's a lot of oil, apparently, off the coast of Gaza. And it's a beautiful beach town. And so, of course, white people see a good thing that belongs to a brown people who are just minding their freaking business. And these white people are like, cha-ching, let's get to murdering. And so they have been, the US has been airdropping in aid and those same airdrops, a very inefficient way to get in food and supplies, but it looks kind of like cool. I bet Americans feel real like, yeah, I'll set it in the cavalry. But a lot of the parachutes failed to deploy, so the aid drops became missiles that would drop on people and kill them that way. Some of the aid would drop into the ocean, so it was either too far, or when people tried to swim to get out, the Israeli Navy fired on them and killed them. And it's like, wow, we're really starting to see these white people, these Westerners, these Europeans, we're starting to see who they are. They were able to perform and hide behind their suits and their legal wranglings for so long, and now we're seeing that all of that fluff and sophistry and beautiful language is just a cover for the monstrousness that lies beneath. So that has been very interesting that those two movies were kind of like really thrust into our public like understanding. But then another so anyway, full moon tomorrow, it's going to be the worm moon. And the worm moon is called such because it's in March, and it is when like things are starting to thaw from winter and the earthworms start to come out. Life starts to come. It's a slow unveiling. And this is also eclipse season. So there's going to be a total lunar eclipse tomorrow. It's in Libra. The sun is in Aries. What does all that mean? I don't really know, but things I wrote down. full moons are all and eclipses are always about purging. And this one in particular, it's the start of the energetic new year, and it's about like reality shifting to correct past patterns, um, bringing what's hidden to the light, unveiling. Um, and with a Libra moon and an Aries sun, it's balancing fairness and authenticity. I know. Lots of interesting things. But so, with all that in mind, uh, I think about, the patterns in history. We see, how we treated the Osage people. We see how they're trying to treat the people of Palestine. The U.S. is building this port to try to help the facilitation of aid. Really, they're going to try to deport these Palestinians and just steal their land more efficiently. And so I see this as an opportunity for us to reality shift in order to correct past patterns. Another movie that came out recently, y'all remember Dune, starring Timothy Chalamet and Zendaya. And I think those are the main people in it. Yeah. So we saw the first one. The second one just came out. We saw that too, and like I really loved it. I loved the one thing I don't love is like that it's like, oh, a white guy is saving the day again. But that's neither here nor there. But I do like in that movie that it's like an indigenous people working together with some members of empire who are like, no, we're rejecting this in order to topple the empire. And even though there's lots of ways for the empire to prevail and the people to continue to be oppressed, we see a narrow way through. I think that's what's going on now. What are the chances that like I would exist? You're welcome, hoes. What are the chances that Billy would exist? What are the chances that we would find each other? What are the chances that we would be like the same age, the same, like a compatible sexuality, that like we would be available at the same time and blah, blah, blah. Just like all the crazy, unlikely things that had to occur to like bring us together, that brought us into this beautiful home we're in. So like the paint here is one thing. We've also painted like our main rooms, our living room and dining room, I guess, and kitchen. And it's like, it's been 3 years since we've been here, and it's the first time we're kind of really starting to like, put some paint on our canvas. And that seems about right. And so, yeah, like if this moon is all about, unveiling, reality shifting to correct past patterns, purging, bringing what's hidden to the light, fairness and authenticity, I don't know, it just feels like right on time. And so like this winter Billy and I have been like kind of hibernating, I think, and really enjoying ourselves and our home and getting to know ourselves and our home and our, who we are. And also we've been like using our voice and taking risks in that way and stuff. And so now as the worm moon comes and things are thawing from winter and, life is starting to creep back out, it's interesting. I feel like I've been kind of like purging relationships and old ways of relating, I think. And so like through that process, people who are not, coming with me to whatever this next level is, whatever this next phase, this next season is, are very clear that they're not trying to go with me, that they're sad that like I won't stay with them, you know, but it's just very clear that like our views and ways of wanting to proceed are not compatible. And like I know that my um task will be to let go and release what is not for me, and to trust that what is for me is going to come to me like a tree. I know I've talked about that tree thing. um I'm just like, I feel like I've done a great job being a naked tree in winter, and now my people are coming to me, and it's beautiful. Um, Last week or 2 weeks ago, me and Billy did this. One of our good friends had this like table read at their house of um, Macbeth, and it was like really cute, so nerdy, but like really fun, a really interesting community kind of thing. That was really dope. Today, my good friend Sakura stopped by to pick up something she'd left a couple of weeks ago and introduced me to two of her friends who were like very cool, interesting, artistic, powerful people who we had just like really great conversation with, and um, just felt right, you know? Just felt right. Um, and yeah, I've been seeing too online, lots of craziness, of course. Oh my gosh. Have y'all been following me on Instagram? Have you been following me and Billy Bunton on Instagram? Billy Bunton, I believe is his thing, and mine is at Sheba Biba. Um, and yeah, if you're looking to figure out what's going on in Palestine, if you're to what's going on in the empire, how all these things are connected. If you want a little glimpse into this brilliant mind and into what I think is relevant and beautiful and important and helpful, you should take a little gander at my Instagram. Um, yeah, it's been really fun to kind of present my offerings to the world, and yeah, um, and have you guys receive it. It's given me a lot of joy. Um, I've been doing some stuff on like calling in the visibility that I want, because I think I'm someone who's really good at drawing positive attention to myself. And I've been able to use that, harness that to create like this amazing life that I want. Um, that brings me like safety and belonging and purpose. And I want to use that like natural skill that I have of drawing positive attention myself, and use it to draw attention to other people who need attention, need positive attention. Um, and so obviously that's the Palestinians. Um, and it's also all oppressed people everywhere. So yeah, children, the disabled, the indigenous, black people, women, queer people, um, yeah, trans people, poor people, you know, all of us. Really, it's all of us, like in some way. But so yeah, and in being on social media more, because social media is one of the few ways that the Palestinians can interact with the world, since the Israelis control so much of their um, internet and connectivity and access to the world. They blew up their airport. They have these crazy checkpoints to get. So social media is like one of their few, using these eSIMs, which by the way, you can donate eSIMs to Palestinians. And that's kind of how we know so much of what's going on right now, is because Palestinians on the ground are like risking their lives to find the cell service to be able to send what they're documenting. And it's horrifying. And it's like, yeah, anyway. So seeing people online who are not Palestinian, who are not Israelis or Jewish or involved in it, I guess, directly, I see them realizing like, oh my God, this is about me also, and doing their part. Everyone, like, I really appreciate people who are like picking up their tools and using it to help. And yeah, so I was looking at Amanda Seales, who is a comedian, and she like when October 7th happened, a little bit after, you know, she was being really vocal about it and sharing things, and it helped give me the like it helped kind of orient me more. I was like, great, okay, I'm not crazy, I am supposed to speak about this, yes. And I like to think about the ways in which I'm inspiring other people to do that too, and I hope other people start to think about how like they will have that same effect on other people also. And yeah, like these old rich white dudes, imperialists, capitalists, they want us to think that we're like, you know, nothing we do matters and they're the people who make the decisions. And so it's best for us to just go along with what these, you know, old white men do. They don't like to have to make these difficult decisions, but, you know, they don't know what they're doing. And or they do know what they're doing and they're being sinister. They are trying to cheat us out of our resources. They are trying to exploit us, and be that Palestinian oil or black voices, and authenticity and being. And I see, you know, a lot of the people at the UN, a lot of the White House spokespeople, um, they're black faces, black and brown faces, doing the bidding of this empire. And I'm just like, how can y'all not see that these white people are trying to, you know, literally rope you guys fucking into this? And, you know, you're just doing it like you believe them. Ugh. Anyway, so Amanda Seales has been speaking up, and she's been, you know, facing a lot of backlash in Hollywood and in like black Hollywood, um because a lot, like black people, we've certainly been taught that like capitalism is the way to go and you don't do anything to affect your money. And so like these white people want you to talk a certain way or they want you to do a certain thing, you start shucking and jiving, and we won't even call it that. You know, we'll allow you to, you know, feel like Charlemagne the God. We're gonna allow you to feel, you know, like one of these, I don't know, I'll say Dave Chappelle. Anyone who makes a shit ton of money, I am suspicious. Beyonce. Stop. Y'all stop. We got to get over this celebrity culture. They're not us. They are literally paid patsies, who are like who are paid very well in order to trick us into being like complacent and just happy to get to see a cool performance. Like, no, y'all, stop. Stop. So yeah, let's not be afraid to release what's no longer serving us. Let's not be afraid to like sacrifice a feeling of belonging for doing what's right, saying what needs to be said. And so there's an article in Essence magazine, which was also the magazine that posted like that did that spread with Jonathan Majors. So they promote a certain type of person and stuff, I think. And so they wrote an article that was kind of I think very loaded with misogynoir and anti-black kind of sentiments about Amanda Seales, and kind of like you know, saying kind of that she'll have more success if she pursues likability, you know, like she's not likable enough. Like, are y'all wild? Are we doing that again? Are we really doing respectability politics again? Like, we don't know that that's bullshit. Who cares what these people like? We see what these people like. Who cares if they like you or not? It's a bad sign if they like you, honestly. That's something I've been thinking about too, like the benefits of being disliked. Because I think we're taught kind of, you don't want people to dislike you. You gotta like go and whatever they need, let them see you so that they. No, trust me, I'm a people pleaser. I'm very good at understanding what people like and what they would like from me. And so I've been experimenting recently with disappointing people and Yeah, even more recently thinking about the benefits of being disliked. And yeah, one of them is there's a freedom. You know, if you're not trying to like stay in everyone's good graces, you can do a lot. You can do a lot. And I see like Candace Owens, Ben Shapiro, Donald Trump, very unlikable, very disliked people who are doing whatever the fuck they want, right? They are getting to say what they want. And like, I'm just like, all right, well, if they're gonna do it, I'm certainly not gonna be less audacious than them. Like, they're saying terrible things that I think they are intentionally trying to be mean and harmful. That's not me. Um, and so yeah, just like understanding and also understanding that like even if lots of people dislike them, a lot more, I think, love them. They love their violent, offensive, you know, often wrong, shitty like views. Like there's lots of people who still like that. So let me have a little faith in myself that even if some people dislike me and what I have to offer, many, many more and more quality people, my people, are gonna love me. They're gonna be so eager for what I have to offer. And they're gonna be so grateful for it. It's gonna be awesome. So yeah, courage to be disliked. Another thing about another positive of being disliked, I would say, is like as a Scorpio, and like I don't know, for whatever reason, I love the idea of being like this powerful like sorceress who's like villainous to the wrong people, you know? And and it's kind of great because in the past 6 months I have seen villainy. Like, oh my lord. And so it's very easy for me to be like, well, I'm not that. All I'm trying to do is just hold up a mirror and show these people who they are and make sure these actual villains don't get away with it. And so like great. um it's been really, it's like really empowering and emboldening to kind of embrace being disliked. So I encourage everyone, but particularly women, get more comfortable with being disliked. You will be surprised at what comes of it. And I think we need it. I think these old like white dudes want us to want to be liked by them. They want us to be easy to consume by white men. Like, so why would I do what they want? They don't have my best interest at heart. Why on earth would I listen to them? Yeah. So yeah. Um yeah. I think that's it. I'm so used to like over explaining myself, I think. And I'm like, if I just explain it perfectly, then everything will be all right. But nope, we're embracing being incomprehensible. I only say what needs to be heard. And like, it's going to be more than enough. You guys are going to analyze it and figure it out and take what works and leave the rest. And fine. Great. But yeah, so rather than killers of the flower moon, we are in the season, the creators of the worm moon. I know, it doesn't sound as cool, but that's okay. Hi, BJVDH15. That's quite a name. It's quite a name. But hello. Yeah. So this full moon, very powerful one. We are creating. We are releasing what doesn't serve us easily, happily. We are shifting reality to correct past patterns. So like, I don't know if y'all have any full moon rituals or whatever you do, but now is the time to start speaking the reality you want into existence. So yeah, I'm like constantly talking to myself in the mirror and the moon, just that Palestine is free They're gonna get a Deus Ex Machina esque kind of thing, that's going to um, topple Israel. All the empires will fall, and they're gonna go down a lot easier than we think they are, than even they think they are. I don't know if you've seen Dune. Sorry, it's kind of a spoiler alert. Spoiler alert for Dune 2. Okay, get out. So, uh, by the time we get to in Dune, like the emperor like comes for some reason and is like, okay, we're gonna like take care of this, rebellion ourselves. Um, it actually like it takes them like 20 minutes to defeat the empire, and like they kind of just give up when they realize like they're probably not gonna win. They're kind of like, okay, so just don't kill me, and maybe marry my daughter or something. It's like they go down much easier than we think they will. The empire wants us to think it's going to be, like you we're never going to win. And if we try, it'll be, Palestine 2.0. We're going to do to you what we did to them, what we did to the natives, what we do to the slaves who rebel. So we got to consider that they're lying. And that like no matter how much money they have, how much like resources they have, all this fancy technology, look at these Israelis still can't beat the Palestinians. They never have been. That's probably why they're so mad too. They're just jealous. They see how resourceful and clever and smart and righteous the Palestinians are, and they hate it. They're so jealous. They're just like, oh, why can't you guys just kill yourselves? Sorry, babe. They're stronger than you. And so like I think even like there was this Palestinian man who attacked like a bus of settlers, and they to go after one man, the Israelis took an Apache helicopter, all these legions of soldiers, and to take down one man. I'm like, y'all are the least efficient, most poorly trained, most easy to vanquish enemy ever. And we got to keep that in mind. They're very good at creating an image of we're big and strong. So most people are like, I don't want them to think I'm anti-Semitic like that. Yeah, sure. I won't think about, no, they're tricking you. They're tricking you. Smoke and mirrors. They, like, please. It's taken a bunch of like internet teenagers to debunk this like really, I would say, poorly made, like propaganda. Like it was easily debunked. Like since October 7th, all the things that like this very well-funded terrorist state has tried to put out, children are able to debunk. A bunch of shoeless, starving people are able to expose like the one of the most well-funded armies in history. They were able to expose them, like just like kind of hold up a mirror, and the Israelis have done the rest. Like it's like, oh my God, we see you. Oh gosh, I can't believe we've let the Palestinians, like, I can't believe we made them deal with these psychos for so long. Really sorry about that. That's okay though. This full moon is coming. It is bringing a close to the fuckery. Though it is eclipse season, so it's going to be rocky for a little bit, but that's okay. Empires fall, they're going to flail, they're going to kick and scream, but they are going to go. They're going to go faster and easier than we think. And it's going to be really satisfying on the other side of it. And we're going to do a much better job of navigating through life than these Europeans have or ever could. So you're welcome, Europeans. I know you guys are told you're supposed to be the ones who do everything. No, you just shut up and follow us, okay? Just be quiet. It'll all be good. Mama's got you now, okay? All right. Well, see you tomorrow maybe on How Billy Sees It maybe. Maybe see you later in the week for a episode of crowd work. Maybe I'll grace you guys with some hilarious musings. Yeah. And okay, so bring your forehead up to your screen. I love you. Palestine will be free. All of this is made up. I hope this was helpful. I'm sure it was for whoever is supposed to hear this. Oh, I'm good. Oh, he's not here anymore. Never mind. They're not here anymore. Yeah. So, yeah. Palestine will be free. Love you. Happy full moon. Get to manifesting, okay? See ya. Bye.